Saad Al-Haliri, represented by His Excellency the Minister of Culture, Dr. Ghattash Khouri. Your Excellency Mrs. Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, who will be with us through a video message. Your Excellency Mr. Muhammad Ali Al-Hakim, Under Secretary General, Executive Secretary of UNESCO. Your Excellency Mr. Aziz Rabah, Minister of Energy, Mining and Sustainable Development at Morocco. Your Excellency Mrs. Nada Al-Agazi, Director of the Sustainable Development Cooperation at the League of Arab States. Your Excellency Mr. Luay Shabana, the Regional Director of the United Nations Population Fund at the Arab States Regional Office, and the Vice President of the UN Group for Development in the Arab region. Excellencies, distinguished gathering, ladies and gentlemen. After becoming the Executive Secretary of ESCWA in May 2017, His Excellency, the Executive Secretary of ESCWA, Dr. Ali Al-Hakim, said that Beirut is the ideal place to host ESCWA because it allows this organization to interact with itself, with its region, and with the whole world. And here is Beirut with the Arab Forum for Sustainable Development hosting again the ESCWA conferences and meetings after years of absence, and it is getting ready to also to host the ministerial session of ESCWA in 2 months. And here is ESCWA standing in all its glory in a city that is imbibed with history, and the presence of ESCWA in Beirut is highly symbolic in terms of regional integration and the transition toward sustainable societies and towards and to serve the best interest of the future generation and decent life. I am privileged and honored to give the floor now to His Excellency Mr. Muhammad Ali Al-Hakim, the Under Secretary General, Executive Secretary of ESCWA, who will be delivering the opening statement. Your Excellency, you have the floor. In the name of God, the Holy, the Merciful. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished gathering. I wanted to welcome you all at the UN House to this important conference that will be for 3 days. Your Excellency, Dr. Ghattash Khouri, Minister of Culture of Lebanon, representing His Excellency Mr. Saad Hariri, Prime Minister of Lebanon, under whose patronage this forum is being held. Your Excellency Mr. Aziz Rabah, Minister of Energy, Mines and Sustainable Development in Morocco. Your Excellency, the Secretary General of the League of Arab States, Mr. Ahmed Abdel Ghaith, represented by his advisor, Mrs. Nada Al-Agazi. Mr. Luay Shabana, Vice President of the United Nations Sustainable Development Group in the Arab region. Your Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to welcome you on behalf of ESCWA at the United Nations House in Beirut as we open the 2018 Arab Forum on Sustainable Development. Allow me, first of all, to thank His Excellency Mr. Saad Al-Hariri, represented by His Excellency Mr. Ghattash, Minister of Culture, for the patronage of this major regional event, and through him to thank the Lebanese Republic for chairing the present forum session. I would like also to express our thanks and gratitude to all the measures taken by the Lebanese government to push forward the development agenda. And I wanted to thank the Prime Minister of Morocco, Mr. Othmani, for chairing the forum of last year's forum. And we highly appreciate the Moroccan leading experience in terms of sustainable development and in terms of establishing the best plans that go hand in hand with the Agenda 2030 for sustainable development. I wanted to thank all our partners for their invaluable cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, ESCWA organizes the Arab Forum for Sustainable Development in the spring of every year, and this in line with the decisions of its ministerial session. And this regional forum reflects the regional will and determination to accompany and push forward Agenda 23 for Sustainable Development. This forum sets a common framework to restore faith in the future and to set a roadmap to overcome and address the development challenges from an integrated through an integrated vision that takes into consideration the specificities of each country, but also the transnational challenges and issues. We believe firmly and deeply that development is a right to all, and that sustainable development cannot be achieved without national, regional, international cooperation and solidarity. We meet today to discuss some of the most important issues that are of high interest to the peoples of our region. We meet today to serve the best interests of our peoples and of the future generations. We chose as a theme for this forum, for the 2018 forum, the natural resources, future generations, and the common good. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished gathering, the title of this forum raises a serious challenge. How can we transform our exploitation of natural resources towards sustainability and common good? What are our respective roles today? What are our potential, our capacities? What are the opportunities that are presented to us to ensure a transition process in the Arab region that would take into consideration the needs of the current generations, but also the aspirations and the needs of the future generations? Sustainable Development Agenda 23 for sustainable development has a deep reaching and deep and far-reaching impact on the Arab region. Our countries have been endeavoring for years, even decades, to pave the road towards the attainment of the Sustainable Development Agenda 23. We have been in the Arab region using and exploiting our natural resources to the point that we have reached a point where the natural resources now are becoming more and more scarce, and because of desertification and because of climate change and the urbanization and the rural population leaving rural areas, as well as other factors and elements that are only exacerbating the whole development challenges and problems in this region. Through ESCWA and through this forum, we want to address key messages to guarantee sustainability in all our developmental endeavors. The first message is that this Agenda 23 cannot be achieved except through a participatory approach, because development means a full understanding of the goals and the targets that are all intertwined, and this requires coordination and cooperation between all the stakeholders. The second message, the sustainable development process in our Arab region should also be based on the empowerment of all categories, especially women and youth. Especially also that that unemployment is hitting the youth category the most. And the participation of youth in the developmental process will help us come up with development plans that reflect the realities of this era. A participation also that should be based on the empowerment of women, and we have to empower women and to guarantee their access to the decision-making process and to the labor market. The third message, we need to revisit our modes of exploitation of natural resources. We need to revisit our economic policies to make them more sustainable. The economic growth that relies on the over-exploitation of natural resources has proven its limitations and is now threatening our economic and social development, and even threatening the future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, the Arab Forum for Sustainable Development is a platform and a framework for a collective debate and a collective dialogue, and it is also an opportunity to ponder the achievements that were made also by the Arab countries, especially that many Arab countries have already made some important achievements on its path towards the Agenda 23 for Sustainable Development. We are all aware of the differences in priorities and in conditions and in context between the Arab countries, but this forum will be an opportunity to express, to share and to exchange experience and expertise, and to present also the progress made on the road towards sustainable development, especially in terms of the VNR. And here we would like to pay tribute to the countries that volunteered the VNR, voluntary national revisions. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished gathering, our commitment to Agenda 23 for Sustainable Development and for the SDGs and their translation into policies and programs only reflect our awareness and our keenness on the common good, and our determination to preserve the rights of the future generations. Together, we and through our partnerships, through the transboundary partnerships, we can make a great progress in this Agenda 23 for Sustainable Development. And these partnerships are reflected in this distinguished gathering, bringing together regional and international organizations, UN sister agencies and institutions, government officials, civil societies, and all other development stakeholders. Together, we are here to serve a common goal, which is sustainable development in our Arab region. With ESCWA, at ESCWA, we are keen on cooperating with all stakeholders, and we are keen on our partnership with the Arab governments and with the League of Arab States, and we remain fully committed to to this cooperation and this partnership at the national, region and regional level. We are looking forward to this Arab Forum for 2018, and we hope that these 3 days will lead us to some key conclusions and recommendations that reflect the real needs and realities of the Arab region, so that our voice as an Arab region can be heard clear and loud in the global forum. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me finally to reiterate my thanks to His Excellency Mr. Saad al-Hariri, the Lebanese Prime Minister, for his patronage, for his high patronage of this 2018 Arab Forum. And also I want to thank His Excellency the Minister of Culture, Mr. Ghattas Khouri, for his presence today with us. I want to thank you all, our dear guests, and I wish our forum full success, and I can also wish you a pleasant stay in this dear country, Lebanon.
والآن أدعوكم إلى الاستماع.
And now we give the floor to Mrs. Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, who will convey a recorded message.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a real pleasure to greet the Arab Forum for Sustainable Development. I thank the
عذرا ولكن الصوت لا يصل إلى قمرة الترجمة، من هنا استحالة الترجمة. عذرا إن الصوت لا يصل إلى قمرة الترجمة.
Delivering on the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development offers a way forward in ridding the world of poverty and building peaceful, just and inclusive societies. 3 years into the 2030 Agenda, the Regional Fora for Sustainable Development are consolidating their role as critical mechanisms for follow-up and review. Your gathering is also a critical step on the way to this year's high-level political forum, where countries share findings from their voluntary national reviews, contributing to global peer learning and decision-making. I am pleased to note that the 8 countries from the ESPA region will be showcasing their successes and concerns in July. I'm also encouraged to see the United Nations Regional Commission working with the League of Arab States to provide expertise, support, and analysis.
نكرر إن الصوت لا يصل إلى قمرة الترجمة، من هنا استحالة الترجمة إلى اللغة العربية.
Climate change are a further major concern across the region. Already, ESPA countries face drought and water insecurity. Without urgent action, we could see the loss of agricultural livelihoods, serious depletion of natural resources, even higher unemployment and mass displacement. We need more effective management of the environmental impacts of the region's extractive industries and more ambition overall in meeting the climate threat. That will mean transforming mindsets and ways of doing business. We must always consider the impact on the most vulnerable today and on the generations of tomorrow. And we need to find the political will to move towards sustainable consumption and production patterns. Action by governments alone will not be enough. This is a responsibility for all stakeholders. I look forward to the contributions the Arab Forum for Sustainable Development will make to this shared effort. Please accept my best wishes for fruitful discussions. I thank you. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a real pleasure to greet the Arab Forum.
شكرا للسيد.
Thank you, Mrs. Amina Mohammed, for your important note. And now it's my pleasure to give the floor to Mrs. Nada Al-Aghazi to speak on behalf of the Secretary General, Mr. Ahmed Abul Ghaid, the Secretary General of the League of Arab States. The floor is yours, Madam.
معالي الدكتور غطاس خوري
Your Excellency Dr. Ghattas Al Khouri, Minister of Culture, representing the Prime Minister Hariri.
محمد علي الحكيم الأمين التنفيذي
Your Excellency, Mr. Muhammad Al Hakim, Executive Secretary of the ESCWA, Mr. Aziz Rabah, Minister of Energy, Mines and Sustainable Development of Morocco, Mr. Luay Shabana, Regional Director of the United Nations Population Fund, distinguished assembly. First of all, I would like to convey to you the regards and best wishes of Mr. Abul Ghaid and who wishes you full success in your endeavor. I seize the opportunity to praise the efforts of the ESCWA in the excellent organization of this forum, generously sponsored by the Lebanese Prime Minister. I would like as well to stress the importance of the partnership between the League of Arab States and the ESCWA, in addition to the permanent and continuous cooperation in the preparation of the Arab Forum and all other activities. I would like to praise the outcomes of the preparatory meetings on energy and water which were held in March in Beirut. In addition, the regional meeting on natural resources that was held in April in the headquarters of the League of Arab States in collaboration with the ESCWA and other relative regional organizations. The main messages were on the implementation tools. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be here today to attend this meeting which will discuss three pillars highly important related to water and energy. All messages of the preparatory meetings called upon joining efforts. In addition to adopting integrated management of water resources and using new and modern tools so as to provide clean energy, given that the prosperity of human beings are very important for the sustainability of local communities. All this requires the support of Arab frameworks so as to achieve sustainable development in the Arab world. Our slogan this year reflects the main challenges that are important to Arab citizens and shed the light on Arab and national priorities, in addition to all national reviews and lessons learned within and outside the Arab world, in addition to the focus on all the efforts under the forum entitled Sustainable and Flexible Communities. This will be reviewed by our forum in addition to the goal 17 regarding the strengthening of the global economy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Arab world is facing an exceptional situation of conflicts and troubles which generated threats to biodiversity and other natural resources, and in a general way the sustainability of the Arab world, especially in terms of the implementation of the goals of the Agenda 2030 in our Arab world. Hence the importance of the guidelines to be followed in all the plans in terms of the implementation of the Agenda 2030. The ECOSOC has also adopted the sustainable development as a permanent item so as to review all the updates through the works of this committee. I would like to stress the importance of the ESCWA as permanent partner partnership in terms of cooperation with us and other Arab states. Ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to conveying messages to be submitted to the high level, messages that will reflect our priorities and needs, in addition to the review of all the priorities in the second version of the Arab Week to be held in Cairo. Finally, I would like to praise all the efforts and show my deep appreciation to all the efforts of the ESCWA and wish all of you full success in your endeavor, and may peace of God be upon you.
شكرا.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mrs. Nada Al-Agizi. And now we shall give the floor to Mr. Luay Shabana, Regional Director of the United Nations Population Fund in the Arab States and the Deputy Head of the United Nations Development Group in the Arab world. The floor is yours, sir.
معالي الدكتور قطاع
Your Excellency Dr. Khouri, representing the sponsor of this forum, Your Excellency Mohammed Al-Hakim, Executive Secretary of the United Nations ESCWA, Mr. Aziz Rabas, Minister of Energy of Morocco, Ms. Nada Al-Agizi, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It is my utmost pleasure to speak on behalf of the United Nations Development Group in the Arab world. I would like to praise your efforts and congratulate you for holding this Arab Forum as a very important platform to review all the achievements on our way to achieve sustainable development in the Arab world. The Arab world is considered as a very special region in terms of global development. Despite the small size, this region is rich in different and non-homogeneous trends of development, i.e. the slow, the medium, the fast ones, in addition to the deterioration and other challenges in terms of environment compared to one of the fastest demographic activities, in addition to the migration, to the asylum, etc. It is also being faced by a very high and unprecedented tensions that are to impact our future for many years. Ladies and gentlemen, the respect of basic freedoms and their protection and their promotion should be the pillar and axis of sustainable development, with a special stress on the importance of social development and the social agenda, in addition to the positive contribution of refugees, of migrants in achieving exhaustive and sustainable development. According to studies, what has witnessed the Arab world since 2011 has been characterized by a change in the social contract between the state and the citizens, including requests for a better life, for more job opportunities, for a decent life, for access, the right to access knowledge, development, and equal opportunities. It is quite healthy to recognize that the social agenda does not play an important role on our agenda, whether on the governmental level or the civil society level or the private sector level. I do not think that security, political, and development approaches will be useful unless they are adopted on good governance, which gives the priority to human beings and human rights in their programs and initiatives on local, national, and regional levels. We firmly think and believe that the Arab world wouldn't be able to achieve the slogan of the Agenda 2030, i.e. Not leaving anybody behind, without including or achieving and providing the rights to all vulnerable categories, including the right to access knowledge, reproductive health, education, etc. In addition to providing youth with required skills and equal and fair opportunities. Development cannot be useful unless it takes into consideration the demographic situation of every state and the age categories, in addition to the youth rate, reproduction rate, etc., which will be the determined factors to achieve or not to achieve the development process, which is a process that concerns all categories of citizens. That's why it should be relying on the participation principle so as to achieve a development that would be a people-centered approach that would guarantee the economic development and growth, a way to fill the gaps between all generations and between rural and urban areas. Ladies and gentlemen, United Nations consider themselves as part of this change to which all states aspire to, so as to achieve sustainable development. This is why the Secretary General has launched an exhaustive reform of the United Nations system, including all the commissions on the level of our Arab region. We at the ESCWA are working on strengthening the regional cooperation so as to unify all efforts in order to provide better services for the states so as to let them achieve sustainable development. In addition to a series of initiatives being launched by other UN agencies so as to help states, including the UN Population Fund, so as among others, so as to improve population factors with this regard, in addition to the UNDP and the UNPE and the Population Fund initiative, so as to provide the help in terms of monitoring and implementation of the Sustainable Development Agenda, in addition to other factors. On the international level, very recently, the Fiduciary Common Fund has been launched, and this will constitute one of the main tools that will allow all services of the provided by the UN be more efficient, especially on the technical level. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple of days ago, I came back from an official visit to Libya, where I met with the high officials and many women, distinguished and creative figures, in addition to a very efficient and creative group of youth. These are the true resources. I have also visited one of the refugees camps where I met Hiyam, a girl aged 10 years old, and Munzer, a lady who is 60 years old, and this is how I thought that our failure or success success in achieving development will be determined by Hiam reaching the age 22 years and her situation, whether she will have access to decent work, to education, so as to let her be a part of the positive reproductive group in our society, and will she have the opportunity to enjoy her childhood and then be able to take the right decisions in terms of her own life, personal life, and reproductive health, or she will become a very young mother who won't be able to access hygiene or any other health primary health care services. Will she be another burden on her society, just like Mundir? This is the approach we should rely on when measuring our failure or success. Hiam, 10 years old, could be just a lost dream or a very important opportunity. This depends on us and our capacity to provide the right environment for this purpose. Finally, I would like to praise all the efforts and congratulate the ESCWA for all the technical improvement and the huge work for the preparation of this forum. I would like to thank the host country, i.e. Lebanon, and the previous host country, Morocco, and I wish all of you very rich discussions and creative initiatives for the sake of achieving development for all Arab citizens and for allowing everybody to enjoy prosperity, harmonious society, and all other rights. Thank you.
شكرا لسعادتكم.
Thank you, Mr. Luay Shabana. And now the floor is to Mr. Aziz Rabah, His Excellency Aziz Rabah, Ministry of Energy, Mines and Sustainable Development of the Kingdom of Morocco. The floor is yours, sir. In the name of the most merciful, of the most compassionate, may blessings on the Prophet and his companions, may peace of God be upon you. Our very best regards to our brother country, Lebanon, and Your Excellency, Dr. Khouri, and it is of our utmost pleasure to have you as the head of this Arab Forum, given the importance of the topics, how to change our cultural and economic track in a practical way, in a new logic of living, and this is of utmost importance for to all our Arab world. This is a very important and basic topic, and upon which we should build our policies. Our best regards to His Excellency Executive Secretary and all Your Excellencies, all the representatives of the diplomatic corps, all the ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to be here representing the government of your brother country, the Kingdom of Morocco, which has the honor of hosting the previous forum, which focused on poverty. I think that resources and poverty and future generations are all intertwined, interlinked, and cannot be separated. This is why I would like to congratulate the Lebanese government for the excellent preparation and organization. I would like to congratulate everybody and welcome all the attendees and participants. It's not only about abiding by international rules and criteria, being called between brackets the SDGs. It is mainly especially about our Arab world, which unfortunately did not enjoy or benefit from many lost opportunities in the past, in addition to the digital, what's called the digital revolution. And by the way, I am specialized in this field, and actually the digital revolution does not need any heavy industries. It needs capacities, skills, brains which are available in the Arab world, whether the brains who are still in the Arab world or the migrant brains. And this is why the digital revolution should become an economic and social revenue to our world. And I still remember all the plans and projects between all Arab countries. However, unfortunately, we have to admit, as elite and as citizens, and even as members of parliaments, because I can see here MPs, and this is very sound and healthy on the legislative level. So, because at the end, we did not, unfortunately, create any added value, any economic and social revenue, thanks to this digital revolution, which would allow everybody to have work, because all of you know how many are creating and leading this digital revolution, and they do not live in skyscrapers, but in countries such as India. I think that sustainable development should allow, or represents a very important opportunity to the whole Arab world. That's why we as Arab world should not lose this opportunity, not because it has become an international tradition, but because it is a drastic, essential change on the economic, cultural, and social level. This is why we need to know how to benefit, and this is what we are going to discuss. We need to benefit from all the resources, from all the power that are available in the Arab world for the future generations, on political, on cultural, and social, and economic levels. In addition to scientific research, we need to give answers to future generations. Otherwise, there will be a gap between decision makers and future generations, and such a gap would be shocking, and this is unfortunately already the case in many Arab countries. I think that the Arab world, thanks to its strategic position and the natural and human resources, especially the elites that encompass tens of millions of brains, and thanks to the lessons learned from failure and success stories, all this can really help us to achieve a real digital revolution. This is why allow me to briefly suggest to you that we should convene representatives from the business sector, from the scientific research, and the civil society, and such a forum will encompass everybody, because we need a public common awareness so as to play this real cultural role, not only on the grassroots, but let it be an up-bottom approach. Regarding Morocco, we have had the honor to host this Arab Forum in addition to COP22, so as to shift from the decision making in Paris to the practice and implementation in Marrakesh. This is why Morocco has decided to approve a sustainable development plan, which will be implemented in all sectors. Hence, projects and programs between all ministries and local communities and the private sector. Everybody will contribute, including industry, agriculture, local development, energy especially because it is considered as a key to development. Actually, this is why we consider energy as a main factor in order to achieve economic change. In addition to the exhaustive and comprehensive sustainable development plan, we need, of course, other projects and programs under the sponsorship of His Majesty the King, and in terms of partnerships with different international organizations and other entities. Even on the society level, there are dozens of CSOs that started building upon this movement, which is related, directly linked to sustainable development. Once more, I would like to wish all of you full success in your endeavor and full success to the Lebanese government. I hope you will achieve sustainable development, and may peace of God be upon you. Thank you for your kind attention.
شكرا.
Thank you, Minister Rabah, for your valuable words. His Excellency, Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Hariri, has a very close relationship with the ESCWA, because he is the son of the man who brought back ESCWA to Beirut so as to let Beirut be the capital of UN in the Arab world. The last speech in our opening session will be given by His Excellency Minister of Culture, Dr. Ghattas Khouri.
صباح الخير.
Good morning. Thank you, Your Excellency, for giving this preferential voice or vote, quoting the elections to sustainable development, said joking Minister Khouri. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, welcome to your country, Lebanon, and your capital, Beirut. It is an honor for Lebanon to host and head the 5th Arab Forum being organized in the ESCWA in Beirut. It is my pleasure, my utmost pleasure, to represent His Excellency Prime Minister in the opening session. I would like to praise all the efforts of the ESCWA in achieving sustainable development and helping all Arab countries to achieve sustainable development and SDGs, in addition to enhancing all the regional frameworks so as to face all regional challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 3 years that the very ambitious agenda of 2030 has been launched, taking into consideration all the internal challenges, capacities of all countries, in addition to stressing the joint responsibility of all countries in order to achieve all the goals, and the importance of collaborating and cooperating with all countries that need help. And this is why all the projects and the programs are in line with the economic, environmental, and social challenges. And the most important thing is the capacity to achieve economic, cultural, and environmental goals, given that they are intertwined. And some of the Arab countries have submitted periodic voluntary reviews to New York, and Lebanon will submit its report this year. And this is why I would like to say that Lebanon will have the honor to represent Arab countries in New York, and will speak on behalf of the Arab countries on the report to be submitted to the United Nations. And of course, we aim at submitting all our fair causes and the external and internal challenges we face, in addition to our needs to further cooperation from the international communities, and especially in terms of facilitating soft loans, especially now that many Arab countries are suffering because of internal and external conflicts and wars, in addition to the pressure on all host communities. And Lebanon is one of the most suffering countries, since it has a daily suffering because of the Syrian influx and the Syrian crisis, and which needs solutions. Distinguished Assembly, it is my pleasure to showcase the advancement of the Lebanese efforts in this regard. A committee headed by His Excellency